Trudy Mason sitting in for Elias Makos today. We talked a lot last week about the new values tests that will be implemented for immigration applicants who are hoping to come here in Quebec. And we had some sample questions on that released as well. And there was a lot of back and forth on whether or not this is a good idea to be implementing at a time when we have a manpower shortage in the province and are really quite desperate to have people come here and take jobs. At the same time as we were talking about all that, it kind of went under the radar that there's a new language mastery stipulation for immigration applicants, people hoping to be selected for immigration to here in Quebec. And they now require an intermediate advanced level of French oral mastery, not only for them, the applicant, the main applicant, but also any partner that they may have. Here to help us sort through the effect that this will have on applicants and maybe even our job market as well is Angela Potvin. She's an immigration lawyer. Angela, welcome to the Elias Makos Show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
First of all, walk us through this new language requirement. What exactly is it asking of people who want to come to Quebec?
Okay, so the main program that this affects is what we call the Experience Quebec program. How it used to work is that you would have to have either 1 full year of full-time skilled employment, or actually they reduced it last year to unskilled, or you could do a qualifying degree, and you would actually already have to demonstrate intermediate advanced oral comprehension and expression. That was already part of the requirement. Now, what they've added now is that they're forcing the spouses to also prove this. So it used to be just the principal person that qualified for the program, and now you have to, if the person has a spouse, the spouse also has to demonstrate their fluency in French. And this is a bit of an issue because not all spouses accompany their worker partners who are coming to Canada. I personally represent a lot of Filipino workers that are working up north in Abitibi-Témiscamingue or in the manufacturing region, and they don't necessarily want to bring their spouses before they actually have stability of their permanent residency. So those spouses living back in Manila did not know that they should be taking French classes at this point or submitting themselves to standardized testing. And that's the other thing. They've changed the requirements, the way we prove this proficiency. You used to be able to take a course, a government-mandated French course, something that's approved by the Ministry of Education, okay, and reach a certain level, and that could be evidence of your proficiency. Now you have to demonstrate either a standardized exam result or that you've done 3 years of post-secondary or secondary education completely in the French language, or that you've passed the French test that's necessary for your professional organization.
What kind of a dent do you think is this going to put in the numbers of people applying to come here?
I think that it's going to absolutely affect like the French requirement for the spouses will definitely affect people applying, but I think there's a larger issue. The other big change that they made to the program last week is that they've restricted the PEQ to only certain positions of jobs in certain regions. It used to be that you could work any position for a year, and as long as you had the French and the job experience, you could apply for permanent residency. Now they've limited the positions by administrative region. So, for example, I had somebody in my office on Friday who has 2 years work experience in Quebec. They were from France, they were young, and they were working as a marketing professional. And their experience now no longer counts towards this program because marketing professional is not on the list of jobs that are approved for the Montreal administrative region. There are only 13 positions in the Montreal administrative regions that are approved. By the way, doctor is not on that list.
Oh, that's interesting.
That is going to massively affect the success of the program. The PQ is one of the most successful immigration programs we had. It took people that already spoke French and already were working or had just finished a degree who were familiar with the way things worked here. And now it's put definite sticks in the wheels for how they're going to proceed towards their immigration process. Now, the government's turning around and saying, well, they can always go through the qualified worker program. through the ARIMA program. Well, the last round of invitation, and they've only been doing one monthly, only accepted 43 people. There are about 19,000 applicants that are going to go through that program. So this means that if somebody doesn't go through either the PEQ or the ARIMA program and gets their certificate of selection, they're not going to be able to renew their work permits. So that means they're going to be moving to Ontario.
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought of when I heard about the doctor's angle. So easy for doctors to choose to go elsewhere and places that they'd be thrilled to have them. Are any of these changes retroactive?
Well, they're going to be applying to anybody that has submitted their application for a certificate of selection in Quebec and who has not received it. So somebody who is waiting for their paperwork to go through, but it won't apply to people that already have their certificate of selection of Quebec.
You would think that if your paperwork is already in and you're awaiting a decision, that you're in the system and you would be grandfathered.
Well, this is a basic principle of administrative law, but Quebec often tries to make immigration changes retroactive. I'm not quite sure why they do this, because one of the first things that they teach you when you take a constitutional law class is that when you submit your application, the rules, you have a legitimate expectation that the rules that you submitted on the day of should be the rules that, apply to the program. And this is going to become especially problematic with this list of jobs by region. We don't know how frequently that list is going to change. We don't know how drastic the changes will be. So you can come to Quebec under the impression that within a year you can apply for permanent residency under this fast-track program. But the next year, if the government changes the list and your job is no longer on it, well, that's too bad for you. People will have wasted their time.
That's heartless, really, and their lives. It's more than just time you're putting in. If you come here and you're starting to settle and starting to adapt, it's inhumane, in my view.
These are people that are qualified, that are educated, that are working. And these are the people that were making it difficult to move in. Now, these changes were somewhat announced through legislation on Wednesday and then immediately put into effect on Friday. There's no way to prepare for the changes in the immigration program. At the very least, there should be public debate about whether or not this change is even necessary. Because when you look at that list, it really seems like the CAQ government is trying to populate the regions at the expense of the city.
Angela Potvin, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate the interview.
No problem. You have a great day.
Angela Potvin is an immigration lawyer.